Hi everyone, it's me. This week I wanted to try something different and do like a Q&A, a question and answer sort of thing. I get a lot of messages on my Adventures in Naps page on Facebook, which is actually pretty cool that people actually trust me for advice. So you might want to rethink that. The question we're going to talk about today is, what is the cost of living like in England, and how much money do I need to bring when I first move over? I think they're like interchangeable, joined, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We need to answer both of them because they're like, they intertwine. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's go. So I think the best way to start is let's talk about monthly bills and rent and that sort of stuff. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I am not an expert, so just remember, please. And if you are an expat or someone living like in the area, English people, please let me know what you think in the comments. What do you pay monthly on bills and rent and that sort of stuff? It'd be really interesting to see how far off my estimate is. In my situation, because I came over to live with my boyfriend, we decided that I wouldn't pay any bills until I started working and got paid from said new job, which I realize is a privileged situation and not everybody's going to be able to swing it that way. So just in my situation, I brought about £300 cash, came over, my boyfriend kept paying for the bills like normal, and I focused on getting a job. Then I got my bank account quite early on, and the way we did it was, my mom is like a person account listed, how do I want to say it? She's on my bank account in Canada. She's like allowed to access my bank account. So with the way our bank was, she went into the branch in Canada, like in my account, transferred my Canadian to my new English account, so it switched over into pounds. So I had the 300 cash, then she transferred like maybe 600 pounds to maybe 800 pounds worth of money. So I had cash and I had electronic, because obviously it's kind of tricky to bring all of it in cash in case something happened and you lost it, or you got mugged or something, or you like had a bag taken and you just, the bag had like a couple hundred pounds in it. Like, you don't want it all in cash. So this house, my boyfriend owns this house, so rent is not something that we do. We do mortgage instead. I'm not going to go into all that stuff because for the most part, I think any like expat people watching, you're probably not going to buy a house in that foreign country. So let's skip that boring stuff. Let's look at the bills, shall we? This is for Southeast England. I think most of the country will be quite comparable, but the big cities like London, you basically have to like add on a percentage that it will be increased. So each month I pay £28 for water, £29 for power. We pay over £130 for council tax, which people don't always remember, but again, it's split between two people. It's not the end of the world. Food, we spend, for the two of us, maybe like £250 a month. We eat well though. I mean, we eat a lot. We could probably do it cheaper, but we don't. Netflix is not a necessity, but I have it. That's £8. High-speed, unlimited internet is £35. Those are kind of like the house bills. Then there's things like transportation. People don't always think about transportation, especially when you're in London and you're like, you know, wow, the tube is so cool. And the tube is really cool and it's so convenient, but you gotta pay for it, which sometimes you don't think about. So keep in mind what kinds of transportation needs you're going to have, because like you're gonna have to pay. So for me, I pay around £70 a month for a bus pass, which is really all that I need. So, I mean, £70 is a good chunk of money, but that does last me all month. Also, a mobile phone. A lot of people don't think of a mobile phone being, you know, like a monthly cost. You just sort of think of bills. So what I did, let me get it. If you don't want to shell out a bunch of money when you first move over here for like a fancy iPhone and like a data plan, because that can be quite expensive. Literally, this is my phone. It is a Samsung something or other. I got it from Argos, but you can also get some from like Asda. This was £10. It's just like a throwaway phone, and then I bought a £10 like credit with O2, which is like a phone service provider. So what I would suggest is you can do something like this when you first get here, because you need to have a mobile number. You need to be contacting landlords and jobs, and you need them to be contacting you, so you need a number. If you don't want to shell out for the fancy stuff, I would suggest doing this. And then you can just pay as you go, maybe pay £10 that first month. Then you start working, you can look at getting an actual plan. So, I mean, my monthly bills are really not that much, and we split it between 2 people, and I would really suggest, if you're coming here, to rent a room or split a flat with somebody, because it makes a huge difference when you can split the bills. Who doesn't love splitting bills? On spareroom.co.uk, it's a really great service. You find spare rooms. Fancy that. I was looking on spare room sort of in this area, and it looked like you could get a double room, so like a double bed sized room with all bills included, anywhere from like £350 to £500 per calendar month. So I think that's pretty decent. You get your room and all the bills. You just need to then add on some transportation. Okay, so let's say you take a £500 room, £500. Transportation will give another £100. Food will give £200, and then maybe like an extra £100 just for extra. So we're looking at £900 a month. I think that's reasonable. Other expats or English people, feel free to tell me that I'm an idiot in the comments, because I know some people will anyways. But from my research, that seems to be likely. Not that I'm an idiot, likely that you're going to spend maybe £900 a month. Just in regular old England. In London, you might need to hike that up a bit, depending on rent. I think rent is the defining thing, because bills, for the most part, are going to be the same. I mean, water, electricity, internet, that kind of stuff is fairly competitive everywhere, but rent is where they get you. Especially London, it is such a landlord run area. Like, you have to fight for a room, so that's the place where you might have to end up spending more. So you just really want to do your research. So if we say monthly, you're looking anywhere from maybe like £800 and up. So that's for 1 month, but how much money should you actually bring with you is tricky. I think the rule of thumb is you're going to want at least a few months worth of money. So the idea would be, when you come here, there's a high likelihood that you're not going to get employed like day 2. Like, you're not going to get a job right away. And then even if you do get a job quickly, you might not get paid for another month. So you need to have that wiggle room. If you're looking for a very specific job, like something really specific to your degree or your experience, it might take you a bit longer. Whereas if you're coming here, literally, you will work anywhere. You'll work in a pub, you'll do agency work, you work in an office, like, you will do anything. You should be able to get a job pretty quickly and subsequently get paid quicker. But if that doesn't happen, you just need to have that wiggle room of maybe 2 or 3 to 4 months worth of money. 4 months is a bit much. I'd say maybe like to 3 months worth of bills. What would be helpful is to have some in cash, and then if you speak with your Canadian bank, do something similar like me and my mom, where she transferred my money over. So you have some cash just to get started, but then you'll also have it electronically, so you're not just like walking around with all this money. I am positive I'm forgetting stuff, and I'm going to think of it once I turn this off and I go put my pajamas on, but we're just going to have to leave it at that. I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you're living in England or you're English or you've got something to say, I'd love to know what your cost of living is like. If you leave a comment just about maybe bills or rent, or if I'm completely off, I would love to know, because I probably am. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye!